Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and discovering that every single glacier and ice sheet on Earth has vanished overnight. No polar ice, no mountain glaciers. Just open ocean, where frozen giants once stood. It sounds like a scene from a disaster movie, but what if it actually happened? Today we're exploring a powerful and unsettling question. What would really happen if all the ice on Earth melted? And the answer might change the way you look at the planet forever. Let's start with the most immediate and dramatic effect: sea level rise. Right now, Earth's glaciers and ice sheets lock away an enormous amount of water. If all of that ice melted, global sea levels would rise by around 70 meters, or more than 230 feet. That's tall enough to completely swallow coastal cities around the world. Places like New York, London, Mumbai, Tokyo, and even entire island nations would disappear beneath the waves. Coastlines wouldn't just shift, they'd be completely rewritten. But this wouldn't be a slow, gentle change. As oceans rise, salt water would rush inland, flooding homes, farmland, and freshwater sources. Rivers would reverse their flow. Drinking water would become scarce. Millions, possibly billions, of people would be forced to move inland, triggering the largest human migration in history. Borders would blur, resources would tighten, and conflict would become far more likely. Now let's talk about temperature, because melting all ice doesn't just raise seas, it changes how the planet handles heat. Ice acts like Earth's mirror. It reflects sunlight back into space, helping keep the planet cool. Without it, dark oceans and land would absorb more heat, accelerating warming even further. This creates a dangerous feedback loop. More heat causes more warming, which causes even more melting. Except this time, there's no ice left to slow it down. As temperatures climb, weather patterns would go wild. Storms would become stronger and more unpredictable. Heat waves would last longer and hit harder. Some regions would face endless droughts, while others would be battered by relentless rainfall and flooding. Agriculture would struggle to keep up. Crops would fail in places that once fed millions, pushing global food systems to the edge. But the damage wouldn't stop there. Entire ecosystems depend on ice. Polar bears, penguins, seals, and countless microscopic organisms rely on frozen environments to survive. Without ice, these species would vanish. And when ecosystems collapse, the effects ripple outward. Fish populations would decline. Coral reefs, already under stress, would suffer even more. The ocean food chain, which supports much of life on Earth, would begin to unravel. There's also something deeper and more unsettling. Earth itself would physically change. Ice is heavy, massive ice sheets press down on the land beneath them. Without that weight, continents would slowly rise in a process called isostatic rebound. This would trigger earthquakes and volcanic activity in places that have been stable for thousands of years. Coastlines would lift, crack, and reshape long after the ice was gone. And then there's the atmosphere. Melting ice releases trapped gases like methane and carbon dioxide, ancient gases locked away for millennia. Once released, they would supercharge global warming even further, making recovery nearly impossible on human timescales. The planet wouldn't just be warmer, it would be fundamentally different. So here's the real question. Would Earth survive? Yes, the planet has endured far worse, over billions of years. But human civilization as we know it would not. Our cities, our food systems, our economies, and our way of life all depend on a stable climate. Remove the ice, and that stability disappears. The good news is this: we're not powerless. This scenario isn't inevitable, at least not yet. What happens next depends on choices being made right now, every day. The ice melting on Earth isn't just a distant problem at the poles. It's a warning, quiet, cold, and slowly slipping away. And the question isn't what will happen if all the ice melts. The real question is, how much will we let melt before we act?